Alright y'all, let me know if it's working. Audio should be fine. It's registering input on my screen, so that's good. Finally hooked up OBS directly to the YouTube stream, so I can actually see the chat in the streaming software, believe it or not. So I can actually read the chat and manage the stream at the same time. So, won't work for gaming streams because I have to still have my phone out so I can play the game full screen. But for these purposes, this will work great. So again, audio check, just making sure. Should be working just fine. You can hear? Awesome, thank you. So yeah, I mean, hello Hampton Connor, how you doing? Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack tonight, as I'm sure a lot of you don't, or a lot of you do know from the Discord server. If you don't know, then I will get to it in a moment, but yeah, there's a lot to unpack. It's not going to be easy for me to do this, what I'm about to explain. I'm probably going to need help. Actually, I'm definitely going to need help. I'm probably going to need it very soon if I'm going to get this done. So we'll see. But yeah, so for those of you who do not know, the goal is now to make a sequel to NR 2003. So if you did not know what NR 2003 is, it's basically what my channel is based off of at this point. Is, you know, the Xiron League, that's NR 2003. All these things come from this 19-year-old NASCAR simulator. And yes, at the time it was definitely a simulator. Now it could kind of be considered more of an arcade sort of thing, but it's still, in my opinion, it's a simulator. It's fairly realistic, especially for its time, and it's a legendary game simulator, whatever you want to call it. So 19 years on, I've decided that I want to try and give it my hand at making a sequel and create a whole new game for the community, because I mean, this thing has helped me discover what my passion is, which is in creativity. And I knew that before, but I didn't know how to really use that passion until now, when I discovered NR 2003. So it's something that I've thought would be really cool to do for a long time, and I think it's going to be really fun. So the first thing, obviously, is that I gotta recruit some people to help work on it. I don't know exactly what is going to be needed and what's not. I mean, I know a lot of the things that will be needed, but I mean, there are some things that people may offer, people may not, but I may or may not need those things. I don't know what is going to be necessary for NR22 yet, and I don't think I said this yet, but that's what I'm calling the game at this point. It might change, I don't know. It's going to be free, so it doesn't really matter what I name it. I guess those two things aren't really related, but yeah, NR22 is going to be released. My goal is December, like at the end of 2022, so the name still matches. If not, then we'll change some stuff. I'm glad to hear that you're at least interested in helping, A-Shock. Obviously, game development isn't easy. If you have a PC, which I know from our messaging, you're looking at getting one, you're going to get one soon, you will be able to help in some ways. But a lot of this stuff I can't even do it. So, and that's not to brag, that's to say that I've spent years and years and years doing this kind of stuff, this kind of creative graphic design, this sort of thing. So, yeah, I really don't know what anybody can help with. I don't even know what I'm capable of yet for this project. I'm mostly hoping that I can just be the manager kind of person, and that other people can kind of help me out with it. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool thing to be able to work on. I think it's going to be really, really fun. So anyway, the point of this stream, other than what we just did, is to come up with some ideas, because I think that it could be very fun, or not really fun, but it could be really useful and really productive to find, or not find, it could be really productive to come up with some things that you guys would find interesting in the game, and that will hopefully help with making it more of a good experience when you're playing it. So yeah, I think that there's not much else to say. I want to make sure I have all this set up properly. No, I do not. Hold on. I want my logo on the screen. I really want my logo on the screen when I switch to the notes. So that needs to be unlocked and moved up, and there we go. So I've got my handy dandy notepad so that y'all can give me ideas, and I can, and this isn't just me taking your ideas, I probably will put stuff in the credits for anything and everything that somebody or people give me, because this is something that's supposed to help the community, not me. So yeah, I mean, I think it could be really cool. Let's take a look at the chat. I'm sorry you got made fun of your dad for no reason. I don't understand the context, but I'm sorry to hear that. Beastrover, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so this is going to be quite the, you know, quite the experience to make a game. I think it will be better than Ignition. So I wonder if there's a way that I can quickly pull up the features trailer. I have to see what I can do. I don't know if that is a Blue's Clues reference, but that's what I say when well, that's what I said this time. I'm doing alright, Beast Rover, thank you. Let's see. Trying to figure out, there it is. So now I gotta download my own video. Actually, no, I already have it on the computer, so I don't know what I'm thinking. Let's see. I'm trying to pull this thing up so I can show it to you guys on the stream. Let's see. So I don't know will it or how it will work yet. I'm gonna explain some stuff once I pull this up. I just keep looking at the chat and I forget what I'm doing. So let's see, trailer. We want to do the features trailer. I'm just gonna drop this into the stream and pause it, I guess, right? Because I need to scale it down so you can see what's going on. But I want to show you guys the features trailer that I posted earlier today so that you guys have a general idea of what it is. Oops. It's basically just a remake of NR 2003 is really what it is. So let's see, let's hit play. Okay, so that should be, I think it worked. Let me know if it worked. Is the name 22 gonna stick after the owner of Papyrus is the CEO of Iris? Yes, well, what Papyrus was is what iRacing became, so I don't know exactly who is what now, but yes, iRacing owns the rights to NR 2003. So basically I'm going to do, it's hard to explain. I can't really get in trouble for this because it's, one, it's a free game, and two, it's my own game, you know, it's my own game, and I can't think straight, so yeah, I can't get in trouble because my own game, it's all original source code and everything. It's just going to be fully original, just some of the features will be the same and the general idea. But I mean, you know, NASCAR Ignition is a NASCAR game, but Papyrus or iRacing, whatever you want to call them, they can't sue, you know, they can't sue Motorsport Games for having that kind of thing going, the NASCAR game, because they're too different. So this is going to be more similar, but I'm not really using anything that they have. I mean, the logo is completely different in a lot of ways. It's not making me profit, so I'm not really worried about any of that. This is seriously just going to be a fun game to play. It's free. It's a free release, so I mean, it's not something I'm worried about, if that's what you mean. But yeah, NR22 should be able to stick. If there's an issue with it, I'll change it, but I don't anticipate that. You know, it's my own game. I'm not using anything other than ideas, general ideas from NR 2003, but it's not, you know, I'm not copy and pasting code or any. I wish I knew how to do that, but I don't. So that idea went out the window a while ago when I first started thinking about doing this. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun. So Beast Rover's question was, what will there be? Career, just mods and regular racing, etc. So based off the features trailer, that's as far as I've gotten for the most part. So if we go to information, yeah, so my take on games like NR 2003 and iRacing, where they're realistic, and combine them with like a realistic kind of arcade game, Project Cars and Forza, that is kind of what I'm going to go for, except it's kind of going to be, it's hard to explain. I didn't put this in the features trailer because I haven't confirmed it, but I'll put this on the screen. So I'm looking at doing a arcade mode, and that's going to include items, power-ups, etc. So those kind of things are going to be in the game. It's literally going to be like Mario Kart, except NASCAR, and I think that that'll be a fun way to make it my own game, in a way. I mean, a lot of these things, I don't really know how to create a video game with its own original idea. I can combine things that I like from different games and make them into one, and that's what I think I'm gonna do with this game is, you know, create like a Mario Kart mode and a sim racing mode, and, you know, have simulations. So the ultimate goal is to have a few different things. So we're gonna have quick sim. I don't know if we're actually gonna be able to drive the cars yet. That depends on how difficult that's going to be. If I have to do everything on my own, I don't know what's going to be done. I have to find 3D models before I can really get started on anything. But, oh, I got to do this. Sim. So, you have quick sim, which will have realistic, so like as close to realism as possible, and you'll have arcade with, we'll just call it Mario mode. And then you're going to have, let's call it a league sim, which is going to be multiple seasons. I don't know how to phrase it. Adapted ratings. So that means, like, you know, the ratings change during the seasons based off of results and momentum and stuff. Let's see. And I should probably put this in. Let's do it here. Player driving TBD. So that means that we're not sure if we're going to have an actual player driving the car, or if it's purely going to be a simulation. You gotta go? No worries. feel free to join back in whenever. But yeah, we're gonna have the quick sim, which is like, it's realistic or arcade. It's literally just one. The league sim, and this is just with the default game. You're gonna have multiple seasons, adapted ratings, silly season. Actually, let's put the auto silly season, so you don't have to do it yourself. It does it on its own. And I don't know how the paint schemes are going to work with that. It might just be, you give each car a sponsor, and then when the sponsor or a design, and then or each team a design, and then the sponsors change. Oh, is it cutting out? That should be better. It should be better, but it doesn't seem to be. Let's do like 2500. I don't know anything about kilobytes per second with the bitrate. I'm just giving it a shot at what I kind of have gotten lucky with. So anyway, League Sim will have multiple seasons, adapted ratings, and auto silly season, team schemes, and driver sponsors. So you'll take, let's say, Air Jordan Racing as a fantasy team. Their 45 car, and this is because I'm a Kurt Busch fan. Take the 45, put a design on it. Let's say that Christopher Bell is the driver, so you change it to Rheem colors with the same design no matter what, and put the Rheem logo on it. And there you go, that's Christopher Bell's car. So that way the game can kind of automatically just default its own designs. And then I'll obviously have it set so that if you want to import your own designs, you can do that. But I think it'll work better, or it'll work for people who don't want to or don't know how to mod it. They can do it their own way. Now, that element would only work for the paint schemes part with the default cars, which will be the 2022 Cup cars, I think. Because once you import your own model, all the textures are all messed up, and you're going to have to do that on your own. So there will probably be a toggle, toggle the, what's it called? Toggle the paint scheme switching or whatever, paint schemes with silly season off and stuff like that. So what did I just have there? Let's call it default roster schemes, I guess is what we'll call it. And then we have, I don't know, that's not a good way to put it. And then for modding, we're going to have, this is a big thing. I don't know how many of you saw it in the trailer, but we have a modular track builder. Trying to get it to fit in one line. Just do it that way. So modular track maker, it's going to be including a mod, let's call it a mod configurator. So how I envision it, I don't know exactly how it's going to work, because I have never made a game before, especially if I have to do it on my own. I have no idea how it's going to go. I don't think I'll do it on my own, but yeah, the mod configurator, as far as I'm concerned, because and this will be a lot easier if there's no drive in the car and it's purely AI simulation, is you import your car model, right? And that's the car. Then you import your sheet metal or whatever for the paint scheme, and then you import your wheel, and wheel. And those wheels are set to be, here's the center of the wheel for rotation, and here's where, here's where everything's gonna line up, and here's the textures and all these things. That way it's basically a mod builder. You just don't have to change, you have to make your own model is the only thing. But I think it'll be fun. Yeah, I think it'll be fun for sure. So what engine am I gonna do this on? Well, that depends. So I think it's pretty much down to Unity or Unreal Engine 5. The question that I have is who's going to help me with this, if anybody, and if anybody helps me with it, how many of them, if there's multiple, want to do Unreal, how many want to do Unity, how many don't care. That's the biggest thing, is that I don't know much about game building. So I would prefer Unreal because I've heard that it's much better, it's got better graphics and stuff. But if I can only find, 5 people that want to help out, and you have 4 of them that want to do Unity and 1 that wants to do Unreal. Sorry, Unreal, we got to do Unity, whether you want to or not, or you don't want to do this at all anymore, because we got 4 people that can only do Unity. So it depends on what my team wants to do, but my personal preference would be Unreal. So I don't know for sure what the ultimate plan is, but that's what I want. So yeah, I mean, actually I'm going to change this. Let's do this. I want to make this make more sense for new viewers. So user driving TBD. We don't know if that's going to happen yet, because that takes an entirely new set of information, where it's not, when the player is driving, it's, let's say it's unpredictable for the gameplay purposes. So you say somebody goes backwards, you know how to disqualify them. If somebody intentionally wrecks somebody and you want to have penalties system in there, then you have to have some way to do that. All these things, it's really difficult to know exactly how things are going to work until you have the basics down. So my favorite part of Enter 2003 is to do the simulation side of it from an AI perspective, and not necessarily to drive it myself. I think that for those purposes, Enter 2003 can stick around, because I think that it's probably better in that sense. Yeah, I think that would probably work better. But yeah, if you want to help with schemes, that would be great. I mean, we don't have models to paint on yet, so that's a bit of a tricky situation. But we're gonna try to get them done. I don't know if I'm gonna use pre-existing models that somebody wants to lend over, or if they being a modeler wants to make their own. But I'm not sure what models we're going to use, so I don't have templates to send over. I really don't know what's going to happen. And remember, this is just the default schemes. Most people won't even use them, so I don't want to have so much effort going into the default car. But I do want to have something. So really what I should do is just import some generic NASCAR model that's free on the internet for any use. And that's the base model. And say, have at it, modders. Go build your own car. Use the modding importing system, and go create your own cars. Yeah, choose cone will be there. Those kind of things will definitely be there. I didn't even think about that, but once you said it, I'm like, yeah, definitely. So let's add something else here. This is going to be minute details. Choose cone, or let's call it choose rule. Yeah, I see it was retracted. I am not sure why, but yeah, I mean, that's a great idea, Brian. I like that. I didn't even think of it until just now when you said it, but that is a great idea. I didn't even think to put it in. It's never been in a NASCAR game, but it's definitely going to be there. Details, yeah, anything you want me to put in, I'm going to jot down here on Notepad, and see what happens. Yep, realistic damage. That's a goal for sure. I'm just gonna put damage model. Yep. So you can just send them off, and I'll type them as I catch up. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I want to have happen in this game, and I don't know how many times I'm going to do a release. Like NR 2003 there was 2002 and 2003, And that's all they needed to have a hit game. Then I guess they lost license or something. I don't know the exact history. But yeah, I mean, if I can get this in 1 or 2 whacks, there's going to be, NR22, and there's going to be NR23. And 23 is like the perfect game, which is the ultimate goal. I'm thinking that would probably be what happens, is that the 20-year anniversary of NR 2002 is the start, 20th anniversary of NR 2003 is the end of my game development days, at least for this series, and we can have 20 years newer game. I think that could be fun. And that's the biggest thing, is I don't know how to upgrade the base game of NR 2003 with just mods. I figured it's easier to start from scratch and add a whole bunch of new features than to just upgrade the graphics massively. So that's what I'm doing. That was the initial thing, is I wanted the graphics to look a lot better. And I know that some people have been really good at doing that. I can't figure it out for the life of me. So there's no way that I feel like doing that. Legend, oh, I like that. And I also want to make sure that we know no DLC, no paid DLC. Everything's free. This game is a free game, or will be. It's not. It doesn't exist yet, but this game is going to be free for everyone to use and everyone to enjoy. That's really important to me, that everybody can enjoy it. If you have something that can run it, you can use it. That's the most important part of it, because NR 2003 for the most part is free, and especially like the important parts of it that you want to, like the mods, those are all free. So it's really, really fun, and it helped me find my passion. So I want other people to be able to do that through my game, and I think that there's going to be a point when NR 2003 just doesn't work for technical reasons or for appeal reasons. So giving a 20-year upgrade, a sequel, I think will work better. Yeah. So realistic driver ratings is definitely something that's going to be in there. You'll notice in NR 2003 they have driver ratings. I'm going to have more detail to that, is the goal. So I'll do that. I'm thinking we're going to do aero packages. So we'll have different types of racing. Like, if you wanted to have plate racing at, I don't know what tracks are going to be in it. I don't know if it's going to be real tracks, fantasy tracks, what. But, let's say Las Vegas, you want it to be a plate race, you can do that. I think that that's a good idea for when you say realistic racing. We can do realistic and non-realistic if you want to have your own choice of racing style at each track. I think that could be, something that works. So that's one thing that I think would be really fun, is now that you mention it, a lot of these things I didn't think of. I can just, once somebody gives an idea, I can add on to ideas very quickly. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some fun stuff that we can do. There's a lot of cool stuff. I am tired. How are the Bruins doing? I've been cheering for them, and they were not doing well last I saw. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. 3-0 into the second. That's unfortunate. Exhibition races, yep. Yeah, so the interesting thing with the exhibition races, I'll jot it down, is, and I'm also going to put rivalries if possible. I want to do that. So I want to have, we can try to incorporate exhibition races, but again, with NR 2003, and that's going to continue to NR 22, you can do your own exhibition races by creating your own track or using someone else's created track. So say that somebody makes an LA Coliseum mod, you can run your own Clash just by, changing tech stock information or whatever, and changing the number of laps, etc., etc. You can create your own exhibition races just through modding. So that kind of stuff is kind of going to be incorporated into the soul of the game, which is modding. And so I think that we can definitely incorporate those, and that's what gave me the idea. Rivalries, AI to AI. And I also want to do user to AI rivals. So you'll have, rivalries between players, or between the player and the AI to the AI. So those can start off in things like the Clash, so you simulate those just to get rivalries started before the season starts, so you could have that sort of thing. But, oh yes, weather, yep, that's a good idea. And I also want to remember, I'm not going to be able to get all of your ideas in, not just you, Brian, but all of your ideas, like everybody's ideas, because this is a shoestring budget operation. Pretty much doing this for free. I don't have like a budget at all for this. It's just kind of, if I have to pay someone or something here and there, I might do it, but I'd rather just have people help out because they want to and they want to help the community as much as I do. So we're having difficulty with how to do this. So it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be fun. And so, no, you're good, Beast Rover, no worries. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to try and get as much as I can, and myself and the team, which is to be determined who's going to be on it. But my goal is to have, as many of these things as possible. Yeah, so Beast Rover, the biggest thing right now, because yeah, I mean, I don't know the first thing about making a game either, other than some of like the assets that you need, but I can't make most of the assets, so I really don't know the first thing about making a video game either. The biggest thing is ideas. If you can get enough good ideas, people will brainstorm, or if you can brainstorm enough good ideas, people will be interested in helping make it, and that's basically what I need to do, is inspire people to build it for me. Not for me, but like, you know what I mean. Like, inspire people to do the stuff that I can't. I'll be as hands-on as I can be, and I'm willing to watch people do it on video calls or whatever too. I can't learn a lot of these things fast enough to be able to do this in a reasonable timeline for my own satisfaction or for anybody else's. Here, let me jot that down as well. For some reason I don't recognize who Austin, how do I say that? I recognize the name though. Austin Oganowski. I don't know how we're saying that. I'm just gonna make a text doc with his name as the title so that I know who to contact. But yeah, I mean, okay, injuries. Let's see, we can jot that down. I get worried about putting injuries because racing is such a dangerous sport, and I don't like to encourage the idea that injuries are fun. That's the one thing that I get concerned about with that, and I've heard that idea come around before. But it is a real part of racing, and so we could definitely put that in. We can definitely put that sort of stuff into the multi-season, I guess. Well, I shouldn't say definitely, but we can think about it. It's just those kind of things you have to think about. But yeah, we can put that as a question mark. Maybe we'll have injuries. I'll put that as temporary injuries. I hate trying to format this thing so that it all fits in one line. Why don't I just do this? I'm stupid sometimes. Temporary injuries. It's my abbreviation I use for that, and I didn't think of it. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ideas that we can put into this. And a lot of these ones that are like, I put them as small details. Yeah, I hate doing temp because then I think of temperature. That's why I do TMP. I just didn't think of it. So, yeah, I mean, small details, no paid DLC. So it's not going to be like like rain is a big thing, weather, but you know, and these are sort of big things. But exhibition races, like that's not too difficult to do. Aero packages, as I've done some research, are actually, with Unreal at least, Unreal Engine makes that not super difficult to do. So that's fantastic. Detail gradings is fun. Yeah, so we're definitely going to have fantasy tracks. We can add that as part of it. But I don't know if we're going to have real tracks, because of licensing and stuff like that. I want to be careful as much as I can. If I can make a good game without using real track names and stuff, like I'm gonna model the fantasy tracks after the real tracks, but they're not gonna be like, you know, detail. It's gonna be, you know, in general, this is what Las Vegas looks like. So, you know, Vegas Loss is going to be a little bit different, like it's a quarter mile shorter, but similar banking, similar shape, something like that, so that it's very similar. Yeah, Dalatega, exactly. I'm putting that in there. And I remember when I was little, my brother and I came up with this track name. It's a really hard thing to explain, but we had this thing that we could create banking, really steep banking. So we did Shortadega, because we were doing it on a circular carpet with the little die-cast cars, and we had this little strip of banking, and we would stack them up and see who falls off of it to the farther end, so that they're like past the banking, and then they get to complete another lap, and then they join back onto the track, or onto the banking, and it was just who could complete the most laps before we got tired of it. So Shortadega is definitely going to be one. Shortadega. That's definitely going to be a track that we have in this game. That might be a stream, just building Shortadega. I might want to hand 3D model that, like build it myself in Blender. It won't look that great. I can send it to somebody for touching up, but Shortadega is a must do. Well, we'll just do must. So we've definitely got to do. Yeah, I like those ideas. I think what we're gonna do. Let's just do rip off tracks. Track names. Shortadega. We're gonna do. I want to be really creative with it. Like, I like the idea of at least a couple of them just switching the first letter of the multiple parts or whatever. But like things like Shortadega, where it's creative, like more than just switching letters, I want to do. I think Dayton, because it's a common city town name. I think we're gonna. Let's just do this. Shortadega Mini Speedway, because that's funny. And that is a tribute to my childhood. So you're gonna have Shortadega Mini Speedway. That's too fake though. We'll call it Shortadega Raceway. And we're gonna do Dayton Speedway, because that's fun. I think. I kind of like Vas Legis, although it has leg in it, and so it kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't quite sound like a track name. Like Dayton Speedway and Shortadega Raceway, you can kind of know what those are talking about, but when you get to, you know, Vas Legis Motor Speedway, until you get to Motor Speedway, you're not really getting anywhere with racing related. So this is actually really fun. I'm having a blast. Is doing, you know, track names like Shortadega. You know, we're gonna pretend in the world of NR22 Shortadega is a national treasure. It is the 8th wonder of the world, and Shortadega doesn't need a appendation, I guess. I don't know that word. Anyway, it doesn't need to be appended by Speedway or Raceway. It's just Shortadega. That's what you have. It works great. So Dayton Speedway. What else do we have? What are some good tracks that we could... let's call it Staples Speedway. I want to call it that. Yeah, exactly. The only wonder of the world. There you go. I like that. So, I'm thinking Staples Speed. Of course, that's a brand name. So, let's just give them all like generic names. The Paperclip, Dayton Speedway, because Daytona is just Daytona. Yeah, State Speedway, Xiron 2022. I love that. So, yeah, we're gonna have the Paperclip. And is that an ear bone? I had no idea. I genuinely had no idea that was an ear bone, but that's pretty funny. I like that. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other track names. Like, the Paperclip is literally the nickname of Martinsville, but it works. But, like, Shortadega is, like, perfect. I love it. That was golden. My childhood. Is it really? I had no idea. I don't know anything about science. I mean, I know a little bit about aerodynamics, but I knew that it was located in your ear, but I didn't know that that's what it's called, and I didn't know that stapes was a bone in your ear. All I knew was that the smallest bone in your body was in your ear. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, I don't know. I mean, I want to keep things grounded in a sense. Like, Shortadega is going to have realistic short track super speedway physics. It's not going to be like, an outer space track is in the game, because that's just too out there. But there can definitely be some humor in this. Stapies. Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some ideas there. I'm going to save that. There's some fun stuff that can be done. So, I mean, there's some good ideas here. I like this. So, anyway. There we go. Let's get that out of there. That works. Give that a little more space. So, Shortadega, Dayton Speedway, the Paperclip. I'm trying to think of other generic items that you could name a track after. You know what? I just googled household items because, Paperclip, and it came up with mattresses. And you know me, actually, I don't think I've ever said this on stream, but my favorite animal, at least like my childhood favorite animal, is a sheep. And so, my favorite brand of mattress is Serta. And I think we might have to just, this isn't for profit, we're doing Serta Speedway. Or, yeah, The Rock, there you go, I like that. Let's put that in. Or we could call it the Boulder. Just give it something. Give it something unique. So, the Boulder. Yeah, the rock, the paper, the scissors. So, the Paperclip, what was I putting on there before? It was something, oh yeah, so it's going to be, I don't know, I want to put something about Serta sheep. Oh well, we'll come up with that some other time. Yeah, I like Serta mattresses. Noah 2022. That's me. Yeah, don't go posting that everywhere. What about Dwayne Johnson? I'm not sure I understand that. Oh, I see what you mean for a track name. I mean, I don't know. I want to be careful with using real names. Like none of the real drivers, other than Kurt Busch. Actually, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say that none of the real drivers, but I want to keep as many trademarks out of the game as possible. Yeah, I would. I think we're gonna keep that as the boulder. Yeah, yeah. Big mattresses guy. That's me. Did I say that, or are you just making that up? I don't. I mean, if I said it, obviously it was a joke, but I don't know if I said that as a joke or not. Doesn't really matter. I'm just curious. That's awesome. Yeah. So we've got some good ideas here. I like these. This is great. Great start to building a great game, I think. And yeah, we just got to continue working at it, and I think that there's going to be some great stuff that happens with this game. So, how long have we been going? We'll probably go 10 more minutes. We'll cut the stream at an hour. Yeah, we've got some great ideas. This is pretty cool. I'm excited. So, I mean, there's not a lot to say. There's a lot to do. I mean, I can't really do much until I have some models to work with and some assets that I need, which I can't make for myself, at least not in a timely manner. It's easier to just find somebody to do it. That'll be faster than doing it myself and learning all of this stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know what we could do it as is kind of just, you know, Boulder Speedway. Actually, let's make this the Super Speedway. Boulder Super Speedway. Maybe we'll have a U. We'll put that in parentheses, because I don't know if there's actually going to be a U or not. That doesn't fit. We'll just do that for now. Boulder Super Speedway. We'll do that. That's not just a boulder, it's a rock. That's just one of the, I don't know, SpongeBob just has some of the most iconic, ridiculously stupid lines ever. And I love the show for it. I mean, it's really, I don't want to say it's a stupid show, but it really is a stupid show. And somehow everybody loves it, including myself. It's weird the way that it works that way. So, I mean, yes, there are some great lines, but really it's not that great. But it is great at the same time. It's great because it's not great. I guess I would say it's so stupid that it's stupid. Or that it's good. The characters are so stupid that they make the show good. And it's just fantastic. So, it's not just a boulder, it's a rock. It's not just Dega, it's short of Dega. See, now we gotta come up with slogans for some of these to put on the walls of the tracks. See, that would be fun. I love that. I almost forgot about Short of Dega, and it just popped into my head tonight. And, you know, that's kind of, in a way, it's kind of cool. It's definitely kind of cool to be able to say that, you know, my diecast track that I did with my brother that got torn down every day and then put back up the next. It's kind of cool to say that that's going to be in a video game. That's something. That's something. So, yeah, we could take Bikini. I almost want to do Bikini Bottom Speedway, but that, again, that would be over the top ridiculous, so I don't think we'll do it. But there could certainly be a SpongeBob car in the field of default cars. That would be fun. Let's put that in there. SpongeBob default scheme. We're definitely doing that. I love that. Patrick, that plan might just be stupid enough to get us all killed. That's great. Love it. Now I just want to Google funny SpongeBob lines for the rest of the stream. We got like 6 minutes. 6.5. The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. That was great. The spilling milk. That was a great line. I gotta say, it was awesome. What else do we have? Two words, SpongeBob. Nachos. Yeah, that was pretty good too. That was pretty good. What's funnier than 24? 25. That was pure genius. The fact that they thought that was funny, and that made us think it was funny. I have a square head, and a real ghost has a round one. All we have to do is make my head round, and boo! I'm scary. That was a great line. I'll have you know that I stubbed my toe last week and only cried for 20 minutes. SpongeBob. I can't read that one. I can't read that one. That's a dirty joke. I don't want to put that on my channel. That was funny though. This is not your average everyday darkness. This is advanced darkness. Moss always points to civilization. Yeah, I remember my brother and I got a kick out of what's the difference for years between Texas and stupid. Always follow your heart unless your heart is bad with directions. Beast Rover's back, just so you know, we're just looking at SpongeBob quotes. Hey, Mr. Krabs is right. For most people, 5-letter word for happiness, money. There you go. Yeah, what's so great about dumb old Texas? Can you give SpongeBob his brain back? I had to borrow it for the week. I ordered the food, you cook the food. The customer gets the food. We do that for 40 years, and then we die. I never thought that I would just be spending a stream reading SpongeBob quotes. However, that's what I'm doing, and it's fun. So, funny SpongeBob quotes. There we go. None of these are funny. That's pretty disappointing. We should take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else. Look at all the hip young people eating salads. That's great. Patrick Starr. There it is, the finest eating establishment ever established for eating. The Krusty Krab, home of the Krabby Patty, with the Help Wanted sign on the front. I don't remember that, but that's golden. You don't need a license to drive a sandwich, SpongeBob. Pearl. See, no one says cool anymore. That's an old person thing. Now we say coral, as in, that nose job is so coral. Yeah. I guess hibernation is the opposite of beauty sleep. There it is. It's on my screen too. Too bad SpongeBob's not here to enjoy SpongeBob not being here. Patrick. Dumb people are always blissfully unaware of how dumb they really are. That's just perfect. Whoever wrote that line deserves a raise. I know they got one for it, but like, they deserve another one. Pull your pants up, Patrick. We're going home. You're a man now, SpongeBob, and it's time you start acting like one. Yeah, so Patrick, what does claustrophobic mean? SpongeBob, I think it means he's afraid of Santa Claus. Patrick, ho ho ho! Let's see. Oh, come on, SpongeBob. You know, I wumbo, you wumbo, he, she, me, wumbo, wumbo wing. That was good too. Most of these are Patrick, which I think is great. This Patrick, you're a genius. Yeah, I get called that a lot. What, a genius? No, Patrick. These are just so good. 6. Woo! 100. Good people don't rip other people's arms off, yeah. You never really know the true value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Okay? There it is. Hey Patrick, I thought of something funnier than 24. 25. Hey, if I close my eyes it doesn't seem so dark. And there's all SpongeBob's catchphrases, and that's it. Alright, well, I thank you all so much for joining. I appreciate that you were willing to stick it out, hang out with me for a little while. Definitely had a lot of fun, so yeah, we'll definitely do this again another time. I don't know if it'll be brainstorming, but we'll definitely do another stream. The Xiron League has not been canceled. NR 2003 is still continuing on the channel. Yeah, I knew this guy who 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 knew Kevin Conway. I remember seeing that comment on YouTube somewhere. That was golden. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it, everybody. I'll see you all very, very soon. Peace out.